results will be life-changing. What will you do?
Hey Dino, thought I'd capture some thoughts real quick. Just read the 15th chapter of The Absolute Sovereignty of God. M. Jagle is who wrote the chapter, and he's talking about I can't remember the title of the chapter, the pre-existence, the time before creation. We have these verses that say everything is hidden in God. We have verses that all is of God. I think that's 1 Corinthians 8:6. I'm not sure about that. Romans 11:36. All is out of God, through God, and to God. He is talking about the singular situation in which God finds himself without a beginning, that he has always been, and the rest of us all have a beginning, but he has always been. And he takes us back to before creation. Mr. Jagle, the author, does. And he talks about everything being in God, of God, out of God, through God. It's a great chapter. You cannot read this, and his ability to paint pictures with words, you cannot read this without a feeling of awe of how big God is, and the plan of God, and everything that he's doing and accomplishing, all without our efforts, without our intelligence, without our God-given ability. In a weird way, it confirms what we have shared a million times, that we play such a small part. That is not to say that we are in any way, shape, or form insignificant. We are creatures of God. We are not insignificant, but our part in all of this is insignificant. In a sense, I want you to give yourself over to the complete and absolute sovereignty of God and the peace that lies within that truth. That none of this is on you to correct things. I think of all these individuals who see it as their job to right all wrongs, who see it somehow as is their function to correct everyone else. And I feel like what they may very well be doing is robbing themselves of the revelation and realization of him in their own journey. They've become so involved in this thought process that they, that their part here is to correct everyone's perceptions and current understanding and everything. That's their place in life. Gosh, it has to just consume them. And I don't see that is the role I've been asked to do, that I am to correct everyone else's perspective or whatever. I mean, we are so unique, each one of us so unique. It would then follow that our journeys are very unique. That just makes sense to me. So if you want to consider everyone's life a timeline, then all of us are arriving. You know, I said a few shows ago, our lives are about arrivals and departures, it seems like. Arriving at new truth or greater truth and departing from old truths. I think we rob ourselves when we concern ourselves with others' journeys. That is not to say we cannot be present and be with them and answer questions with our current understanding and be sympathetic and an encourager. I mean, I know without a question that Father has placed in me a desire to be an encourager. I enjoy lifting another up. And sometimes that's just being present. Sometimes that's just being there. Sometimes that's not even having an answer for a question or whatever. It's just being present. Well, I'm heading into my mom and dad's right now. Mom's having that cataract surgery on her left eye, and she's nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. And I get that. That's her better eye between the two. She sees the best she can with her left eye over her right eye, but she doesn't see real well out of that left eye, so she's really nervous about surgery on that eye. And I feel for her, and we've been trying to encourage her that, hey, you know, we think that this is the best steps forward. Let's have this surgery. Let's get some of this cataract, this cloudiness, murkiness out of your eye. Maybe it'll help. They're going to put a lens in that supposedly will help with her up-close vision. A couple weeks from now, they'll do her right eye. Her right eye has histoplasmosis in it. It's really bad. But in addition, she has cataracts. They're going to remove the cataracts. They're not saying that her vision in that eye is going to be improved greatly. It's just that we're going to take some of the murkiness out and make it brighter or whatever. So I'm heading there before Beth takes her. My wife takes her to her surgery. I'm grateful for Beth. She has been a constant in all of this. She's very good with all this information, and she is very reassuring to my mom, to the point where my mom would rather Beth take her to these appointments than my dad. My poor dad is dealing with my mom's dementia and the vision loss and everything, and bless his heart, I think he's in a depression, and he's responding with anger about everything. So I'm gonna visit with Dad and see if I can kind of encourage him and, you know, let him know that he's not walking all of this alone. We're going to be there with him, his kids. All of us are going to be there with him during all of this. See if I can't get him, lift his spirits a little bit at the same time. Just want to take these few moments and share with you, Dean. I'll catch up with you this weekend, I'm sure. Take care and have a good day at work. See you again real soon. Bye.
Hey dude, just watched the video. It's really good stuff. You can see I'm on a golf cart, but unfortunately not on a golf course. It's the work golf cart. Anyway, I'll respond to it or something and make that into to a show. But yeah, I really liked it. It's good thoughts. Later, man. All right, so I made it home. I was going to film on the way home. I didn't have a setup for the camera, so it was a little dangerous holding and driving. So I was like, well, okay, I'll just get home and I'll film now. Finish now. But yeah, I like the thoughts you had. Chris sent me, it's not the only video that he sent me. He had some others out there. It's really good stuff. I liked it. And I appreciate the sovereignty message that you've been, that's been close to you, close to your heart. You've been pushing it a lot. I know it's something that we've said we've known for a long time, but we can't talk about that enough, or say it enough, or read enough scriptures about that to let that sink in. It seems like there's levels to the realization of what that really means. And you're one to speak about that and enjoy that. And you're talking about the book, The Absolute Sovereignty of God, and all those wonderful chapters, different authors in there. So yeah, that's good stuff. I love that. I like your thoughts on, we've been talking a little bit about this, and this is just maybe the world around us, or how we perceive things or perceive others. There's a need in us to want to see, change. And then we see that a lot in others, people trying to change each other. And like I said, I can't escape the fact, as you was talking about it, that how much, that's a part of me, or has been, a big part of me. I do look at it, thankfully, differently now, completely differently. And still, in a sense, working on it, if I could say that. Because we're free. What is there to fear, right? Why is there a need to change anything that's going on? We can be thankful we're not part of whatever chaos we perceive going on, right? Why not take a step back and be thankful? Why not remove ourselves from situations or conversations or things that upset us? Well, why not remove ourselves from that? Well, we don't have to participate in any of it. You can be thankful we're not a part of it. If we are a part of it, then of course we're there as an agent of peace and joy and love. What else could there be, right? So we long to see that. We don't always see that. I'm not claiming I always do that or see that. Why not work on that if that's something we want to work on, right? Why not that? Why not talk in those kinds of ways? Because when you see the big picture and you see the sovereignty of God, it's all, everybody's journey, everybody's steps are ordered. So there's reasons for this chaos that's going on within ourselves. There's so many things that we see. I see a lot as projection going on. I'm guilty of it. A lot of things, when we sense things or see things that really upset us, why is that? Why? We're always looking out there, or it seems like we're all victims, right, of something. And then you get that victim mentality that, well, if these people out here or these systems changed, it would help me. Or if I changed them, it would help me. I'm starting to have a new perspective on that. Thankfully, I'm glad you're talking about it. If anybody out there's listening to us, we just want to encourage, talk about our journey. It's what Chris and I do. We talk about these things in Scripture, and gain, peace from that, freedom from that. So I'm thankful for that. Those are some wonderful thoughts. Chapter 15, you mentioned, I read, because you mentioned it, the absolute sovereignty of God, and it is beautiful. I'm going to read one little paragraph from him in here, from this chapter. The truth that all is out of God, without any special commentary, implies this precious fact that all was in God. Everything was in God originally. In order to proceed out of anything, it is necessary to be in it beforehand. That is a self-evident axiom and requires no process of reasoning to establish it. So that's just something to think about. Everything's in him. Later on, it's when it does get a little dicey. I did love this chapter. this original inclusion of all in God is so all-embracing that no creature can claim any independent origin. Okay, so nothing in this universe was first originally in God. So we think about that. What is there to fear? So what are we doing out there when all these things that trouble us and we live in fear, right? We react so many times because of fear. And I know we call it all these other things. We just want justice and truth, and we want everything to be right and everybody to believe the right things and blah, 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 blah. I think we're reacting in fear so many times. Or at least, maybe I can speak for myself, what I do. My reactions are, sometimes I don't even understand what I'm doing or what I'm saying or why I'm even angry or upset. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. And that's something that, I mean, that's just something like that awesome thing when Jesus said himself, Father, forgive them, they don't even know what they're doing. How true is that? We as creatures, we're not so sure so many times on what we're even doing. So I think, yeah, it's good to talk about these things. I appreciate the thoughts that you had on that everyone's on their unique journey. We are so unique, and to recognize that, to help be patient with each other, and then also be patient with ourselves, to realize God's doing a unique work in all of us. And then also there's a flip side of that, of course, to where we're all so unique, but we're all so much, in a sense, united as these human creatures, how we don't really compare to God. Almighty God knows all, sees all, has planned everything. What as we creatures, what can we really do, right? So in a sense, we're united, and we don't know a lot of times what we're doing. So why not help each other in that? Why would we ever be against each other, no matter how we frame it? You know, 'cause we all want this justice. It's coming. I mean, everything's going to work out for the good. We know that. So what do we have to fear, right? So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for you, Chris, for all the stuff you talk about, and keep hammering that sovereignty message. We'll keep hammering here. Hopefully it helps everybody. It sinks in. It'll wash over you. You can relax, take a deep breath. Know that even during the suffering and the sadness and the chaos, God's got it. He knows what he's doing. Try to encourage each other, but yeah, I'm thankful that, as you know, for the freedom, for the new things I'm learning, constantly learning. You think we know things, like, you know, when things wash over you, like grace, and then you realize grace becomes joy, and then it was there all along, right? It's just right here in the scriptures, screaming out at us. That, you know, we love and adore and worship and come from our Father, the great Creator, the happy God. That's who you come from. Whoever's out there listening. And he's got a plan for you, so hopefully that can calm your nerves a little bit if you're going through which, as we've been talking about too, we can go up to anybody and say, hey, sorry for what you're going through, and they would be like, yeah, how'd you know, right? Because we're all going through something. All right, well, that's going to be the show. A couple little clips here that we've sent each other, and we'll put this together. We hope that you all have a great week. We love you all out there. Appreciate all the comments, and we'll see you next time.